Hi, hey, hello, how are you? And welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be picking out my April TBR. I wanted to use the TBR jar again because I feel like this really helps me to pick books off of my physical TBR. As you all know, if you've seen any of my videos from January, that is the goal for this year. I plan to fully finish my TBR by the end of this year. And in order to do that, I basically need to be forced into reading books off my physical TBR because at this point in time, all that I'm in the mood to read is mystery and romance, and those specific books are not ones that I own. They're ones that I would be getting from the library, which it's all great and fine to read books that you want to read when you want to read them, but if I only ever did that, I know that I would never finish my physical TBR because nothing would be forcing me, and I need to be forced. So when I do these videos, I normally pick 6 books because I feel like at this point I average between like 7 and 10 books a month. So I feel like if I pick 6, and I also get to just throw in some wild cards in there, read whatever I'm feeling. If there's a new release, I read that, whatever. I feel like that means that I have a pretty good chance of getting to read all of the books that I pick. Last month, I was able to read 5 out of the 6 books that I picked, and I was really proud of myself for that. Unfortunately, The Giver by Lois Lowry does have to go back onto the TBR. Oh well, maybe we'll pick it again this month. We'll see. So I'm gonna pick 6 prompts out of my jar. All of the prompts that I've used in the past, I have taken out of the jar. So these are all new ones, and once I get down to 0, then I'll add all the old ones back in. And over time, I'll probably make new ones as well to add to the jar, just to liven things up. Whenever I think of something else, I can put that in there. All right, let's get to it though. First pick, a hardcover book. Okay. I mean, as long as it's hardcover, that's like free choice, so that's nice. Second pick is a book that was released this year. Okay, a new release. That could even mean something that hasn't come out yet. That's really exciting. Pick number 3 is a book that's part of a series. That's exciting. I mean, I'm always in the middle of a bunch of series, so I can definitely accomplish that for sure. Pick number 4 is a book loved by one of your favorite booktubers. Okay, I feel like at this point I have read a lot of my favorite booktubers' favorite books, so I might have to do a little bit of digging, but I feel like I can definitely make that happen. Fifth one is a book with an intriguing first line. Okay, I'm gonna have to read some first lines. Obviously, if it's a book I've never read, I don't know the first line off the top of my head, so that sounds interesting. And pick number 6 is a book that includes sports. Okay, I mean, at this point, I feel like I've only read hockey romances as far as like books with sports go. Or like if you want to count Quidditch from Harry Potter, I guess that counts as a sport too, even though it's not real. I don't really make it a habit of reading books with sports aside from hockey romances, so that could be interesting. Okay, so I have my 6 picks. Now I need to figure out which books I'm going to pick for each prompt. I'm gonna take you over to my little TBR bookshelf so you can see all of the possible choices. Okay, so here we are. The first one that I wanted to start off with is a book loved by one of your favorite booktubers. For the longest time, I have been wanting to read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and I feel like now is the perfect time to do it. I don't currently have it. It is not on my physical TBR, which is annoying, I know. I just said that I was trying to finish my physical TBR this year. I'm working on it. But someone that I know owns it and said I could borrow it, so I'm gonna borrow that. I know that Haley Pham rated it like 5 stars, and then I think Sarah Caroli and Destiny Sidwell also rated it like 4 stars or something. So I feel like that's the perfect pick for this prompt. Okay, so I have my first one. Then for book that includes sports, I realized that I have the perfect book for that. The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I have been meaning to read this for the longest time. I've actually never read an Elle Kennedy book, which is kind of insane. I know that there is a hockey player in this, so I feel like it's only right for me to choose this book for a book that includes sports. So then we've got a hardcover book, And one that has been on my shelf for quite a while, The Last Party by Claire McIntosh. This book is actually not mine. This belongs to my mother-in-law, but I have been borrowing it for a long time, so I did include it when I originally counted through all of the books that were on my physical TBR, because at the time it was one that was in my house, so I counted it. So I am super stoked to read this and get it off my list finally. Sorry that the lighting keeps changing. The sun is currently going down. This was not the best time for me to film this, so I'm working with ring lights here. I'm doing the best that I can. Okay, and then for a book that was released this year, at first I was kind of panicking when I got this prompt because I was like, we're only 4 months into this year, barely, you know? Like, it would have been nice if I would have gotten this prompt at some point last year. But like I said, this can be used on a new release. And guess what's coming out in April? Funny Story by Emily Henry. Are we kidding? I'm so stoked. I was gonna read that this month anyway. I pre-ordered it on Kindle in like September. So I will definitely be reading that. And it just helps that I get to put it on my TBR for this month, so that I feel like I'm being productive and following the TBR video. Okay, that's 4. We've got 2 more left. So for a book that's part of a series, I am going to force myself to finish one of the Throne of Glass tandem read books. I'm not going to nail down which one, because it's quite possible that I will only be able to have the willpower to force myself to finish one of them and not both of them. Both would be amazing. That would be great. I think at this point in time, as I'm filming this, I'm like 60 maybe % through Tower of Dawn and like 30-something% through Empire of Storms. I know that doesn't make any sense, especially because Empire of Storms comes before Tower of Dawn, but the tandem read like schedule thing that I was following, I just found somebody's, I don't know who made it, has me at this point in time a little bit farther ahead in Tower of Dawn. So I'm going back and forth on what I'm gonna do. This is absolutely ridiculous at this point. I think I've been reading these for like 6 months. So I need to just get my butt in gear and actually finish them. I don't want to be reading these forever, and I want to finish these so that I can get to Kingdom of Ash. Like, I just want to finish the Throne of Glass series. And every time that I talk about this on my channel, I get worried that anybody that hasn't read the Throne of Glass series is like, oh my god, that sounds awful. I probably just shouldn't read that at all if it's taking her 6 months to read these 2 books. But here's my thing. It's a good series. I just think that the whole tandem read is rough. It's really hard. I think ideally what Sarah J Maas should have done is take Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn, smash it into one big book, cut that book in half, and then you've got 2 books. But they don't need to be read in tandem, because all of the storylines that you're getting in Empire of Storms and all the storylines that you're getting in Tower of Dawn are happening at the same time, because that's how it's supposed to be. That's why people read them in tandem. But it's just so intimidating that I feel like there was a better way to do this, and that's not how she did it. So no hate, Sarah, but that's just my personal opinion. And at this point, I'm not sure whether I'm going to finish reading them in tandem or just go one after the other. I don't know if I go one after the other, if I should finish Tower of Dawn first because I'm farther in that, or finish Empire of Storms first because that one comes first. I honestly have no idea. And I know that I wouldn't be like fully reading those in April, but like I need to finish them. So for a book that's a part of a series, I'm going to say one of the books from the tandem read from the Throne of Glass series. There we go. Okay, and last but not least, a book with an intriguing first line. I'm going to go through some of my books and read a couple of the first lines and just see what I think and pick one that way. Okay, this one is Thank You for Listening by Julia Whalen. I do really want to read this. This sounds really intriguing to me because I have listened to so many audiobooks that she's narrated, so I feel like it'd be so fun to read one that she's actually written. Things were heating up with no possibility of cooling down. Okay, that's not really super exciting, so we're gonna keep looking. This is Before I Do by Sophie Cousins. This one hasn't been on my TBR for very long. I actually got it at some point after my, what was that video? After my like 2024 reading goals deep dive video. I kind of updated on every single book that I had gotten since my first physical TBR video that I filmed in like September or October of last year. And this one I got at some point afterwards when I sold some books to a used bookstore, and then I was able to get this one for free. Audrey, barefoot and in shock, stumbled out of the church alone. That does sound kind of interesting to me, not gonna lie. I kind of want to give this one a go. I actually don't even remember if I read the synopsis of this one before picking it up. I was just like, this looks cute. I've heard of the author Sophie Cousins. I've never read any of her books before, so I just decided to pick it up and give it a go. But I think now might be the time. I think that sounds interesting to me. Okay, so let's recap. For a book loved by one of my favorite booktubers, I'm choosing Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. For book including sports, I'm choosing The Deal by Elle Kennedy. For a hardcover book, I'm choosing The Last Party by Claire McIntosh. For a book released this year, I'm choosing Funny Story by Emily Henry. For a book that's a part of a series, I'm choosing either Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas or Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. Either one. I will accept either one. And last but not least, Before I Do by Sophie Cousins. We've only got 3 of them here physically. Unfortunately, that's not the best month for getting things off of my physical TBR, but it's better than nothing. What can you do? And we'll see. Like I said, I don't always stick completely to these videos. They're just fun to make and fun to kind of give myself like a little bit of a guide to go through the month with, because otherwise sometimes I want to read, but I have no idea what to read. And so I love making these monthly TBR videos to help me with that. I'm excited though. There are some good picks in here. There are some things that I've been wanting to read for a really long time, and I can't wait for that. I really hope that I'm able to get to them all. I think honestly the biggest undertaking is just finishing one of those frickin' Throne of Glass books. I'm literally so fed up with myself that it's taken me this long, but what can you do? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, you can give it a like. If you like me and my channel, you can subscribe. You can press that little bell icon to get notifications every single time that I post. I normally post on Fridays, but not always. Sometimes I do it randomly as well. All of my social media links are in the description below. If you want to go follow me on Instagram or what have you, that's down there. And I will see you next week. Bye!